Adrian, we've been going about an hour and 20 minutes, and I do want to thank you, but I'm getting hungry. It is time to go. But before we do, I did tease a little bit. The final question of Talking with Tarashuk Podcast always goes to the guest. It's a nice little twist, like the turn. And if anyone listens to the podcast before, they know it's coming. So please, I hope you are prepared. Anything you want to ask me, if you got nothing, you can plead the fifth.
Okay, very good. So I do want to ask you something, and I appreciate that you gave me the heads up because it allowed me to think of something while we were talking. But this is a question that I've started to realize I want to ask more people, and that is this. We often tell stories about our own lives as if we made a mistake, learned our lesson, and then everything after that was like a success graph going up and to the right. You know, like we never made the same mistake again. I personally have never learned anything except the hard way. And I have made the same mistake over and over and over and over for an embarrassingly long period of time. So here's my question, Will Tarashuk. What's a mistake that you kept making over and over and over and over?
Oh, God. Oh, man, that is a phenomenal question. Man, you got to get me right to the core here. Let me go on a solo shot while I think about this. So the immediate one I go to is emotionally. You know, I would let my emotions and my anxiety get the best of me. And I would make that mistake over and over and over and over again, whether it was with schoolwork, whether it was with my relationship with my friends, whether it was like going into college. Like, it got to the point where in high school, I was just broken. You know, I was just broken, back at zero, had to build myself back up. And then I actually found it through podcasting. I built myself back up through podcasting and through my fraternity. The same week, I started them both at the same time. And it was just, it completely changed my life. But how I learned from that mistake, you know, I still get emotional. I still just like, my girlfriend asks me all the time, like, what are you thinking? I'm just like, nothing. I'm just letting them pass through. I just let my thoughts pass through. So when it comes to your emotions and your thoughts, you just got to accept them. Feel what you're feeling, acknowledge it, accept it, and move on. That was a mistake I kept making over and over again. I would get lost in my feelings. I get lost in my thoughts. I get lost in my emotions, and I get stuck in a loop. And that would affect myself. It would affect my work. It would affect my schoolwork. It would affect my relationships. And it got to the point where, yeah, there's going to be days where I'm upset, and I'm visibly upset, and you're going to feel me upset. And there's just nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to be a bitch to you. I'm not going to like ruin. I'm still going to come in and do my job and do what I have to do. And like, I'll cheer up. But on the inside, I'm still struggling. But it is what it is. Your emotions, you can't control your emotions. They're just there. If you're angry for a reason. Now, but what you can control is how you react to those emotions and how you respond to those emotions. But just feeling them is okay. And just acknowledge it. I am upset right now. I am mad right now. This deal fell through. It sucks. I'm upset. Acknowledge it. I accept it. What's the plan moving forward? And that's a mistake on a human level. That's not even on a professional level. That's a mistake that everyone consistently makes. And it's something that you're going to be learning with and figuring it out until the day you're dead.
That's an amazing answer. And I just want to thank you for your honesty and your openness. But I want to tell you the punchline of this. I think that the mistakes we make over and over and over are because we have strengths that we haven't recognized as strengths. So I'm willing to bet that if you think about this, your sensitivity, your ability to be moved by things emotionally is probably a strength that you may not have realized you had.
Oh, it's my gut.
And of course, it takes
my
the
gut
form.
is always right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And that's my hunch. I don't know, but I'm going to keep talking to people about it and see how it goes. I think the mistakes we make over and over and over are because there's a strength we're trying to use. We just haven't learned how yet.
Yeah. I think that's phenomenal. I think that's spot on. And podcasting helped me realize that strength.
Love that.
So even if my YouTube stays under 1,000 subscribers forever, that's fine. At the end of the day, that's fine. If it helps me get a full-time job with way better health benefits and more PTO, and I can afford that house and the kids, that's cool. That's cool. And that's my goal with this podcast, and that's the goal with Willie T Productions. And this podcast, everything I do for this podcast, including the hosting, including the recording, including the distribution, including the social media, including all the clips, everything I do is a service. My podcast is a service, and the more I podcast, the more I develop and build those services, the more I network, the more people reach out to me saying, hey, can you do this? You know someone who can do this. And it's very local. It's very local. I don't need bells and whistles. My overhead is about maybe $100 a month. I got about $300 a month coming in. So to me, that's a success.